Welcome back to Jason's Pen Journey. Today we're going to do a quick review of a new pen that I've added to my collection. This is going to be the Heinz Pen Company Sleipnir model, which is one of their A24 models. So, as I mentioned in my recap of the San Francisco Stationery Fest show back in March, this was the one pen that I acquired during the show. So, I managed to control myself at that pen show much better than I did at the San Francisco Pen Show back in August. Only one pen purchased, and that's mainly because there weren't a lot of pens to be sold at that show. It was more stationery oriented than pen oriented, and in fact, there weren't many. There were only the only pen vendors that were there, and I'm repeating myself from my other video, but the only pen vendor who had their own table at that show was Navalor or Narwhal, as it's actually pronounced Narwhal, but Navalor is how a lot of people see it. They were the only pen maker that was tabling at the show, but Heinz Pen Company did have a small presence along with one of the other tables that were at the show, Stationery Universe, and Francisco from Heinz was there to sell his wares, or Heinz Pen Company's wares. So Heinz itself is a pen company out of Texas. I've had a few other pens from Heinz. I really enjoyed them. They're typically, at least the ones that I've had, a little larger on the size. I had a B24 as well as two that I assume are A24 size as well. I when I purchased those Back when I purchased those originally, they didn't have the model numbers listed. So, but the Heinz pens are nice pens. They're really cool resin, small batch. Nothing's going to look exactly the same. And when I saw when I saw the pens that they had at the Stationery Fest, the one that really caught my eye was this Sleipnir model. So let me show it to you. So the A24 size for Heinz is kind of their standard, one of their standard sizes. It's kind of large. Let's see, trying to find the materials I wrote about it. A24 model, yeah. So it was one of their core models. It's straight body and straight cap. So the Sleipnir models for the eight-legged horse from Norse mythology, Odin's eight-legged horse. So it's a pretty large pen. The faceted aspect does make it a little different hold than a lot of other pens in the collection because it's just not round. It's actually eight-sided. In terms of characteristics on the pen itself, so first you've got a flat top. You've got the Heinz logo there. Flat bottom, nothing on the finial on the bottom. There is this kind of extra blue band around the middle that's just in the resin itself. So really gorgeous resin. I don't know if the camera picks up all the sparkle. It really does remind you of the night sky, the cosmos. That Norse mythology is definitely strong with this one. It does have a clip, a little bit of give to the clip, not a ton. In terms of number of turns to uncap it, let's give it a try. So there's one full turn. So a little less, maybe a little less than 1.5 turns to uncap it. This particular pen came with a blue nib. I've got it in fine. So Francisco did have that special nib to include with this one. Really nice looking nib. That's one of the things I really enjoy about the Heinz pen company's nibs is those colorful nibs. In fact, I bought another pen from them, not from them, but secondhand, that I specifically bought because of the purple nib that came with it. So this one does. It's an interesting feel in the hand because of the transition from the grip into the threads, into the body with the facets, it's a little different. It's a little awkward for me where my knuckle on my index finger sits and where my thumb sits because the front of my fingers are gripping the section that's just a regular cylinder. But then as I move back a little bit, I'm right on the lip of um, the body of the pen as you kind of get into the main barrel. Um, and it's a little, just feels a little awkward with the facets there. It's not bad, but it's a little awkward. Let me show you the pen. By the way, this does not post. So for those who like to post their pens, this one does not. So you wouldn't be able to do that. You probably wouldn't want to do that with a pen this large either. Let me show you how the pen stacks up size wise to some other common models of pens that you may have seen. Okay, here we have the Heinz pen Sleipnir model compared to a TWSBI Echo, a Lamy Safari, Sailor 1911 large, Pilot Custom 823, and here's the Heinz. So you can see if everything is sitting properly. Yeah, the 823 is a little bit longer when it's capped. Everything else is shorter. So it is thicker, larger, girthier than these other pens. You can see the kind of size difference there. If I just compare that with the Lamy Safari, move that a little closer. So much slimmer body. I picked up of these. I grabbed the Lamy just because that also has kind of non-cylinder shaped body, um, and that'll be something we can take a look at in a moment. Let me uncap them for you. And uncapped, again, you can see that some other pens start getting a little bit closer in size. Let me get these guys out of the way because they're not really going to match. But it's about the same length as a TWSBI Echo uncapped and a Pilot 823 uncapped. So those are all pretty close in size. I don't know why I'm measuring with my finger. That's not a good. Oh, let's get a ruler. So yeah, pretty close in length there. Not the most scientific way of doing it, but again, you can see how the different sizes and girths of this pen really do stand out. Um, I wanted to take a look at the Lamy Safari next to it with because it is a faceted design as well, not a cylinder like the others. But I mean, there's no comparison between these two in size. But, when you have one of the things I was mentioning is the grip section of the Sleipnir is a little awkward for me, of where my fingers are coming to lie on it. Compare that with the Lamy Safari with elongated grip that's really meant to kind of show you how to hold the pen, especially for beginners. You can see my entire forefinger, um, the knuckle is not even into the barrel of the pen yet. So much larger grip size there, which is helpful for me. Whereas the Sleipnir is a little shorter on the grip than I would have liked. Okay. So here is the pen, Heinz Pen Company A24 Sleipnir in a fine nib. It's a number 6 nib, it's kind of standard JoWo nib, nothing fancy other than the color. I'm trying a new ink that I haven't used before, so it's Taccia Ao. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let me find the bottle. So, Taccia is not a brand of inks that I've used before. I just got a shipment the other day of several of them, so I wanted to try them out. It's a well-known brand, but it once wasn't one that I've used before. So I'm still getting to know the characteristics of the ink. And so one of the things that I'm noticing, so the AO is kind of it's kind of bright blue. I did find that the ink flow was a little inconsistent in the But I don't know if that's because of the ink or the nib or the feed. I just don't know. This is the first time using the pen, first time inking it up. I'm going to be using it for the next several weeks as part of my rotation, and I'll get to know it better. But I don't know if it's the ink or the pen that is proving a little bit inconsistent. You can see a little bit here. So if I show you, can kind of see where it started. It came out very dark the first couple of pen strokes on this page, and then it kind of settled into a more predictable color as you go down there through the rest of the page. There is a little bit of what appears to be sheening in the ink, as you can see in these strokes over here, but it's gone by the time I reach the end of the line with a more of a um, dedicated I don't even know what I call that, scribble. Um, but the writing is pretty smooth. There was a little bit skipping here in this guy. I don't know if I'll be able to recreate that. So again, I don't know if it's the nib. I don't know if it's the pen. I don't know if it's the ink. I don't think it's the paper. I'm pretty used to this paper. But if we take a quick look at it, let's try it now and see how it goes. So a little bit of a hard start there. A little bit of skip there. That's me turning it a little bit, but you can see it missed a little bit on a couple of those strokes. So no problems there on that one. Pressing lightly, pressing a little harder. So the nib itself doesn't have any flex in it. It's standard steel nib. It seems like it's a pretty dry ink. Again, I'm using this ink for the first time, so I don't know what to really expect with it. So that's the Heinz. Wow, that did not come out well. So it may be that this nib also needs a little bit of tuning. Not great. Not great. Not great on that. So I'm gonna have to spend some more time seeing if I can get this pen to cooperate a little bit better. The nib. It might just be the nib. It might be it might be the ink. I can't. Something's getting on me too. Um, So I'm not ready to to declare uh, that it's the pen or the ink until I've had a chance to spend more time with it. But not off to the best start. Um, I didn't try this; it wasn't inked up at the show, so this is literally the first time I'm using it. Is today is inking it, and it's going to require some more time. So we'll see how it goes over time. Um, Ask me in the comments on the video how it goes over time, and I'll try to give you an assessment after I've had a chance to use it some more. It is a lovely pen, so I'm hoping it's just getting the ink, maybe a different ink, or getting the ink flow a little more consistent on the tines from the pen, or from the nib rather. And that's the Heinz pen, A24 model Sleipnir, which is the Odin's eight-legged horse. It's a really gorgeous pen. It really looks cool. Not my favorite pen so far. So I mentioned a couple things that stood out to me as I started using it. First was the way that the grip section fit my grip wasn't the most comfortable for me. So it may not be one that stays in my rotation for too long. And obviously, I definitely had some trouble with writing on that first page. Again, I don't know if it's the nib. I don't know if it's the ink. They're both new to me, so I'm gonna have to give it some more time. I will probably um, give it a good writing session, see how it goes, and make a determination at that point whether I should clean it out and try different ink, um, a more known ink for me, and see if it's the ink that's the trouble. But it might be the nib, and the nib might need some work. So uh, To be determined. I'm not ready to give it a, a thumbs up, thumbs down yet. I'm hoping that it will be something that I can, correct with a more well-known ink for me that is more. I don't want to disparage the ink either. Again, it's the first time using it, so I don't know what the characteristics are going to be like over time. So let's call it an incomplete. Not ready to give it a either the pen or the ink a solid review yet. So we'll see. We'll give it a try. Um, I may remember to come back and give you an update. I may not, but please do ask in the comments. Give the video a like if you like an honest assessment, and give the channel a subscribe. And until I see you next time, keep on writing.